Imagine this: one night, a single father, a Marine veteran, stands alone in his small-town roadhouse, facing down two angry Hell's Angels. He doesn't back down, even though the odds are against him. What he never expected, though, was what happened the very next day, when over 200 lady bikers rolled in to fill his parking lot. This isn't just a story about bikers. It's about courage, family, and the kind of loyalty that can change a man's life forever. Stay with me till the end, you won't forget this one. Jack Turner wasn't just a Marine. He was a father first. Widowed when his wife passed away from cancer 3 years ago, Jack had traded the battlefield for a quiet, gritty life running Turner's Roadhouse, a little bar and grill on the edge of town. His days were spent flipping burgers, pouring beers, and raising his 10-year-old daughter, Emily, who had learned to do homework at a corner booth while her dad worked. But quiet never lasts. Not for men like Jack. It was late on a Thursday night when the doors creaked open and two men wearing black leather vests with flaming skull patches walked in. Hell's Angels. The room went silent. Regulars lowered their eyes, knowing trouble had just stepped through the door. The taller one, a brute with tattooed knuckles, leaned over the counter. "You're Jack Turner, right?" Ex-Marine. Jack didn't flinch. He'd seen worse men in worse places. "That's me. What do you have?" But the biker wasn't there for a drink. He smirked. "You kicked my cousin out of here last week. Said he was harassing your waitress. Nobody does that to a brother of ours." Jack set down the glass he was drying. "Your cousin put his hands on a woman who said no. I don't care what patch he wears, my roadhouse, my rules." The second biker slammed his fist on the bar, rattling the bottles. "You think you're tough just 'cause you wore camo once? You got no idea what happens to men who cross us." The regulars froze. Emily peeked from the back door, her little eyes wide with fear. Jack's blood ran cold, not from fear, but from rage. He had fought for freedom overseas, and he wasn't about to let his own daughter see him bow down to bullies. He stepped forward, his voice steady. "You want to scare me? You picked the wrong men. I fought men with bombs strapped to their chests. Two bikers in leather vests don't even make me blink." The bar went dead quiet. The Hell's Angels didn't back down, but they didn't swing either. Not that night. They spit curses, swore they'd be back with the crew, and stormed out, roaring their Harleys into the darkness. Emily ran into Jack's arms, trembling. "Daddy, what if they come back?" Jack hugged her tight, whispering, "Let em come. Marines don't run." But as the neon lights buzzed overhead, Jack couldn't shake the thought, he wasn't just a Marine anymore. He was a single dad. And the war he faced now wasn't on foreign soil, it was on his own doorstep. The next morning, Jack went about business like nothing happened. Coffee brewing. Grill sizzling. Emily eating pancakes at her usual corner booth. But word spread fast in small towns. By noon, whispers of the standoff were already circling the biker community. Jack braced himself, expecting a convoy of Hell's Angels to roll up. But what happened instead, no one could have predicted. Around 3 p.m., the ground began to shake, not with 2 Harleys, but with hundreds. One after another, motorcycles lined the road, their chrome glinting in the sun. The sound was thunder, rolling and endless. Jack rushed outside, Emily clutching his hand, and what he saw made his jaw drop. 200 riders. All women. Leather jackets, braided hair, patches that read Steel Roses MC, Valkyrie Sisters, Lady Guardians. They weren't here for trouble. They were here for him. A tall, silver-haired woman stepped off her bike, her boots crunching gravel. She walked up to Jack, extended her hand, and said, "Name's Marla. We heard what you did last night, standing up to those Hell's Angels. Word got around quick. And let me tell you something, you're not alone. Nobody messes with a man who protects women. Not in our book." Jack shook her hand, still stunned. Why would you come here? All of you." Marla grinned. "Because sometimes, it takes more than one warrior to win a war. You stood for your daughter and your waitress. Today, we stand for you." Jack looked around, watching as the women filled his parking lot, parked their bikes in neat rows, and walked into his roadhouse like they owned the place. Laughter replaced fear. Emily giggled as bikers in leather braided her hair at the counter. For the first time in a long time, Jack's bar wasn't just a roadhouse, it was a fortress of family, loyalty, and strength. Later that evening, Marla raised her glass and said loud enough for every soul in the room to hear. You don't need blood to be family. You need courage, honor, and love. Jack, you got all three. And as long as you do, you'll never stand alone again. Jack's eyes burned. For years, he'd felt like life had stripped him of everything he loved. But now, surrounded by warriors who wore leather instead of uniforms, he realized something: the battle wasn't over. It had just changed. And this time, he wasn't fighting it alone. And that's the story of how a single dad Marine faced down Hell's Angels, and woke up the next day to find 200 lady bikers filling his roadhouse lot. It's not just about standing up to bullies, it's about finding unexpected family in the most unlikely places. Remember this: courage inspires loyalty, and love creates tribes. Jack didn't just defend his daughter. He inspired an army. And sometimes, that's all it takes to turn the darkest night into a sunrise you'll never forget.